All right, guys, we're super excited for this team training webinar, and I have a treat in for you guys today. And I'm going to try really hard to say her name right, Paola Hernandez today, and she has only been a coach for 10 months, guys. So I just had a chance to kind of hear her story and have her share with me how she got started in this. And you guys are going to get to hear that from her. She's going to share a little bit of her story, but she kind of had a turning moment in this business, has been all in since October, has been a coach for 10 months, signed up in July. And she is currently a one-star diamond coach and has hit Success Club every month that she's been a coach. The last 4 months has hit Success Club 10. And learning about her, she's been doing this all through Instagram and really using that to build her business, and really has mastered attraction marketing. So I'm super excited that we get to hear from her and just honored that she would get on. I know that she works a full-time job, guys, and so we are pre-recording this call because she's like, I work during the day. I'd love to get on and share what I'm doing, but I am working. So this is how we're making it work, but it just goes to show anybody can do this. So I am going to go ahead and turn the time over to you, Paola, and just kind of let you take it from there.
Thank you, Brigitte. I am super excited to be on, super nervous. So I might say like 500 times because I'm a total Valley girl, and that's what normally happens when I'm talking and super nervous. So I am so excited to share with you guys what I've really been doing for the past 10 months. I have built my business on Instagram, I would like to say, and I've met most of my coaches and my customers on Instagram, and it's my go-to platform of social media. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. I am a mom of 3 under 5. I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. So I am beyond busy. Like Brigitte said, I do work full-time, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and I am a corporate medical recruiter. So I've been doing that for about 10 years, and Beachbody came into my life in July last year. I actually saw a post from a girl on Instagram, and I was so intrigued by her before and after picture. And at that time, I weighed around 200 pounds. I have lost so far over 55 pounds doing 21-day fix. I've actually, that's just my go-to program. I love it, and I host challenge groups every month for it. Aside from that, I have a one-star diamond coach under me who signed up, who I met on Instagram. A diamond coach. Who I met on Instagram is probably my best friend, and I would have never met her if it wasn't for Instagram. So I just want to tell you guys a little bit about why I love Instagram so much and how I've built my following through there. So IG pretty much has been my platform for my marketing, and Facebook is the way I've kept it organized. So as you know, we host challenge groups on Facebook, but I've been able to find people on Instagram and connect with people on Instagram and then transfer them over to Facebook. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. I'll tell you guys a little bit about little tips that I do and things that I tell my coaches to do with their Instagram so that they can find more people, reach out to more people, and so people can find them. So we'll go into that. So like I said, to me, Instagram is more of a straight to the point kind of platform. I feel like Facebook to me is a little bit more distracting. When I follow people on Instagram, I know that I can log on and see what I want to see. I can search people. I can search topics that are interesting to me. And I don't have any other distractions that I'm looking at while I'm doing that. So I think it's a great way to find people that have similar hobbies and things that you might like, that they might like too, that bring you together. Before Beachbody, I had a huge mommy following because I was a huge, well, I still am, baby wearing advocate. So I used to document all of my baby wearing adventures with my son, and I was able to build a large community and following through that. So I already had a large, well, not huge, large following, but like a solid following of moms and busy moms and working moms that were following me. So that was a way that I was able to connect with people that I had things in common with. And it's just amazing that you could find real friends through this platform. Some of my best friends I've met on Instagram. So it's crazy to hear, but it really is like just a really good platform to meet people. One of the things that I could say that has helped me a lot is that I actively post on Instagram. I've always shared and I've engaged, with people if they're commenting on my things, and maybe I wasn't following them directly and I would see that they were liking my stuff and commenting on my things. I would then check out their posts. So it's a really cool way to find people that are liking what you're doing. And you can find, those customers that are going to come to you, or possible future coaches that you're going to be talking to, even if you're not following them directly, to pay attention that they're following you and that they're seeing your stuff. So it's a great way to go into, your likes and see who's been liking your things that maybe you're not following or that you're missing. So, you can find new customers and new people to reach out to. Another part of it is just to stay consistent. Like I said, I see people that like my pictures. Maybe I wasn't following them, but we have similar interests. So I'm able to look at their stuff. They're able to look at mine. It's also a great way to, start conversations with them, because all you have to do is comment on their picture and say, like, how cute, or if it's a picture of their kids, or if they're doing something that has to do with fitness. It's just an easy way. I think it's a less awkward way than it would be on Facebook. Most people's Facebooks are private and they don't have things out there where you can just comment if you don't know them. Instagram to me doesn't feel that way. I feel like if your Instagram is public, it's out there for me to like and comment and look at your story and your life. So when I look at people's profiles and I see something that I like, or this person seems like somebody that I would just vibe with, I will start commenting on their pictures. I will like their pictures and just start building a relationship with them. So that's one thing that I love about Instagram. I think it's not an awkward way to, find people and meet new people to invite to this amazing business. One of the things that's huge for me that I know a lot of people don't realize, or don't think it's a big deal, is having your profile be public. I have had some coaches, I say, oh, well, I really don't have much things going on Instagram. And then I ask them, well, is it public? No. So it has to be public in order for this to work, because Instagram is built on hashtags and on people searching things and people liking things, and it just works that way. If your Instagram is private, nobody's ever going to find your posts. Your posts are never going to pop out on a search or on a top, list of hashtags or anything like that. So they're not going to find them. Say you have a friend that's told you about me and my profile is private. You're going to come try to look at my stuff, but it's private. You might not want to request me. Some people don't want to do that. They just want to see and then walk away, So it has to be public. So if you don't know how to do that, I can definitely go into detail about that, but it's pretty easy. You can just go onto your account, and then on the top right hand corner, there's a little button. Click on that, scroll down, and then turn off the public and private setting. So that's super important, because I know privacy is huge for some people, but you're in this networking business. You just have to put yourself out there. You have to just say, this is what I'm doing, this is my business, and put yourself out there. So you have to make your account public. And that you're going to see so many more followers coming through when you do that too. Another thing is the hashtags. So like I mentioned before, hashtags is huge. That's what IG is known for, Instagram. and it's how it operates and it groups things together. So if you're not using hashtags, you're not going to be found either. So, you know, hashtags that have to do with what you're doing and hashtags that have to do with what you want to do. So lifestyle hashtags, come up with 30 hashtags that you're going to use on a daily basis and save them in your notes on your phone. So I have 30 hashtags that I use. I have, you know, pretty basic hashtags that people would use, like hashtag clean eating or IG fit moms or fit moms healthy habits. So I have, you know, a group of hashtags that I use. I have saved them on my notes on my phone so that it's easy for me to post and then just copy and paste those hashtags over. But do not put your hashtags on your main post. So if you ever see somebody post something and then, you know, they post their what is it called? Their heading, and then they post 50 hashtags under, it just doesn't look very appealing or very pretty. So don't do that. I'm going to show you a trick. Post your post and do your heading, and then in the comments you want to post your hashtags. And the way that you're going to post the hashtags so that they don't show when somebody is scrolling through their feed and looking at your post is that you're going to put like 5 dots before your hashtags. And what will happen is Instagram will hide all the hashtags in the comment so that when somebody's looking at your post, they pretty much won't see any of the hashtags, but your picture is hashtagged. So if somebody searches clean eating, your picture will come up. Or 21 Day Fix or whatever it is, your picture is going to come up, but it's just going to look nicer on somebody's feed. Because sometimes I'll see posts and I see like 40 hashtags. I don't even want to read it. I just keep going. So you want to make it nice and you want to make it appealing for people to look at your posts. So just make sure to keep that in mind. If you don't really know, you can let me know, message me and I'll show you guys how to do that. Or just look at my posts on Instagram. It'll show you on there that I put my hashtags in my comments so that people don't really see them when they're just scrolling through. Let me see. So that brings me into like Instagram curb appeal. I think it's huge. Log on to your Instagram and look at what it looks like from somebody outside coming in and looking at it. This is how you're engaging your people. This is how you're going to catch somebody's attention and say, wow, her life looks pretty cool. Or, you know, whatever she's doing is pretty fun. Or, okay, I get it. She's a mom. She works. She drinks Shakeology. She works out. Like, you have to tell a story with it's like your business resume. It's just, you know, everything is out there. You want to keep it organized. You want to keep it clean. So just ask yourself in some of these, and while you're looking at your profile, maybe after the call, are most of your pictures selfies? I know we love selfies, but you don't want every picture to be a selfie. People want to see more than your face, what you're eating, what your kids are doing. So you want to keep it balanced. I post selfies, but you don't want to post a selfie every single day. And when somebody's looking at your profile from outside in, you don't want to see a selfie. Like, nobody's going to want to see a selfie all the way down, you know, somebody's story. So, you know, keep that in mind. When you're posting, do your posts have a purpose? Do they give somebody information? Do they share a story? So it's like a storyline. You're looking at somebody's profile and you can see, oh, wow, they did this all weekend, or they did this. So you just want to keep it consistent and clean. Also, like, going into that, when you're posting something, are you looking at the picture before you're posting it? Because Instagram is all about photography and what it looks like and how you're going to catch somebody's attention. So you do want to have an eye for what you're taking pictures of and think about it before you post it. So look at the surroundings of what you're posting. Does it go with what you're trying to tell in your storyline? And if it doesn't and you post it and you don't like it, delete it. It's that simple. There's been times where I've done a post and I'm like, this doesn't really look very nice. when I log back in and I look at, all my profile pictures, like, all my pictures were this way, and now I just put this random picture in the middle. Like, I'll delete it. If it doesn't go and I don't like it, it's gone. So just know that you have the power to do that, because like I said, this is how you're engaging people to come and look at what you're doing. Aside from that, just know that your profile is who you are, and it's your marketing profile. You're telling people about who you are, what you are about, and that should be something that they can see from your post and from your account. Facebook has so much more other stuff in it, so I feel like Instagram is like one place where people can go and see all that you're doing and what you're doing in one spot without any distractions, like I said before. You want to make sure that it gives a clear story about who you are and what you're doing. Make sure that it flows and it's consistent. And just ask yourself, if somebody is looking at my profile, do they know 3 things about me? If you look at my profile, I'm a mom, I'm a Beachbody coach. You know that I commute to work every day. So you can find all that information on there. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at your profile. So going from there, and I want to talk a little bit about how I meet people and I talk to people and I reach out to people. So I'll go into, like I said, I've met the people, some of my best friends on there, and 99% of the coaches that I have signed up, I've met on Instagram. And I have about 33 personal sponsored coaches under me. So naturally, all the people that were following me before were the first people that reached out to me about the program and about the opportunity, because they had seen my story, they saw my transformation, and of course built that trust with me. But I also have people who just start following me and are able to go back actually through my hashtag, because I have a personal hashtag. It's called Pao Gets Fit. And I have it on my heading. If you go on my profile, it says, see my story, Pao Gets Fit. And I can tell that people are clicking or searching that hashtag and liking all the pictures in that hashtag. So if you look at that hashtag, it has my transformation from the first post that I did when I started this program and till now, losing 55 plus pounds. So I see people going directly to that hashtag and liking all those pictures. So I know they're looking just at that hashtag. So make a hashtag about your story. Have a quick and easy way for your followers to be able to see your story. So I've had people tell me, hey, I went on your Instagram and I saw your transformation and I'm so inspired. Like, tell me more. I am going to be very honest that I've never done a cold invite to anyone on Instagram. I have never reached out to anyone and just said, hey, you should join my challenge group. I've built a lot of relationships. I have followed people. I have met a lot of people through Instagram, and I've been able to connect with them in different ways. Things that we have in common, motherhood, working, all that other stuff that we have in common. And that's just been my easy way of then going into the opportunity. So I think to me, it's been all about marketing and how I put myself out there, and people find it easy to reach out to me and send me messages and tell me, I've seen your story. I know that it's possible because I have it documented from beginning to end. So definitely, make sure that you have easy ways for, if followers just want to see your quick story, that they can go ahead and see that. Another thing is, backtracking a little bit, I just want to let you guys know, there is a search button on Instagram and a popular page. So if you have friends that are liking your profile or your pictures, that will come up on other people's search button or popular page that are not friends with you. And that's just going back to being public. If your page is not public, then you're not going to be found. And that's how people are going to be able to find you, or it's going to recommend your page to other people. Because I'll have people tell me, I have no idea how I came across your Instagram, but now I'm following you. and then I'll see that we had a friend in common somewhere. So that's something new that Instagram started doing. It used to be like top post, and now it's people who you might like to follow. So just keep that in mind, that a lot of your people are going to come from other followers that are liking your pictures. Let's see what else. I'm running out of things. So pretty much, just to end it all is, I've met a lot of people. Most of my challengers have been from Instagram, and the way that I move them over to Facebook is the way that I start the conversation with them. So normally they'll direct message me, or they'll leave a comment in one of my posts, and they'll ask for more information. I never give them the information on the post. I always tell them to direct message me, or I will direct message them. So I direct message them, and I normally go through their Instagram before I'm talking to them if I don't know who they are, just to know a little bit more. If their Instagrams are private, I do request them as a friend so I can see what they're all about while I'm talking to them. And I always ask them if they have a Facebook. Like, first thing I say is, hi, thanks for reaching out. And I ask them if they have a Facebook. 99% of the time, they do say they have a Facebook. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't like Facebook, or, I have one, but I don't use it. And I just tell them straight off the bat, my challenge groups are on Facebook. It's really important for you to be on there. Even if they're not going to be active, I want to know that they have the access to get on there so that they can get that information. So I pretty much set the expectation that they're going to need Facebook for it before we start talking all into it. I don't want to, at the end of my conversation, say, oh, by the way, you need a Facebook. And then they're like, oh, no, I don't want a Facebook, or I don't have a Facebook. So I tell them right off the bat that they're going to need a Facebook, and that my challenge groups are going to be held on Facebook. Sooner or later, I'll have one with the challenge tracker app, but I really don't have more than like 2 people that don't have a Facebook, and we're completely not willing to do it. So it's not really worth it for me. But, I think that's one thing where that's the one thing that I've done is just ask them right off the bat that if they had a Facebook, and if they were willing to use it, so that we could then move the conversation over to Facebook. Sometimes I'll just say, it's easier for me to message on Facebook. Let me find you there, and we'll continue our conversation there. So they're already there. And when I seal the deal, I add them to the groups right away. So that's like one of my ways that I get people back into Facebook. And, that's how I organize my people. So I think that's really all I have for you guys. I hope that some of those tips helped. Maybe some of them were obvious to you guys and some were not. But I really hope that those tips helped you guys and will help you guys reach out to more and more people. If your profile is private, I hope you make it public today. And I promise you're going to get new followers. So thank you so much, Brigitte.
This is perfect. Thanks. Make sure I'm unmuted. This is awesome. And I was sitting here and taking notes myself, writing things down, because I always have coaches asking me like for the tips and tricks. And, the number one thing that stood out to me as you were sharing is how, like, basically you're going really slow at the beginning in a relationship, and that it's an authentic, I'm showing interest in you and I care about you and I'm liking your photos, I'm paying attention to you. I think it's really easy for people to, I'm saying people as in me, to put up a photo on Instagram and just think I'm going to have people flooding me, asking for information. And what's working for you, you do have people coming to you, but you're making that investment and showing interest in them and paying attention to them. And so many great things here. I do think I'm like laughing when you're like, is every photo a selfie? I'm like, I was just looking at my Instagram the other day, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure every single photo here is a selfie. So I can see a lot of things that I need to work on, making sure I'm taking good photos, that I have a clear story. I really like that you have a hashtag for yourself as well. And telling people, okay, I'm going to send you a direct message. Like, I love that. Like, so many good things on here. If it's okay if I ask you, because you're the Instagram expert here, what maybe tips, I know I'm totally putting you on the spot here, and I apologize for that, but you've done so amazing. And I just have a question on the description for your Facebook account, like when it tells people you can say a certain thing about yourself. Do you have any tips about that, of things that people should try to put in there, or certain things to avoid, or ways to maybe make it kind of catchy, or things that they should make sure to put in the URL? Should they do their Beachbody website in the URL, or their Facebook link, or, what are your thoughts on that little description for the Instagram account?
So I have, I think I pretty much kept it really simple. I didn't want to put a million emojis and all these, distracting things in there. I just really put my top 3 things, which is I'm a mom first. I am a fitness and health coach. I have a team No Excuses. And I put my weight loss, obviously my weight loss transformation and my weight loss amount. And my hashtags. So I really hope people make a hashtag for themselves, because I have hashtags for my son's pictures, and I'm super obsessed with that, because I've also used it for other things. But I think just keeping it simple and straight to the point, exactly who you are. And because if I read that on somebody's profile, I want to know what they're about. So maybe top 3 or 4 things that describe what you're about, or what your profile is about. As far as the link, I for a while had the Beachbody one, and it really wasn't doing anything for me. I also had which other one did I have? I think I had a questionnaire one where I had people answering that, and I probably got a couple from that, but not really. So recently I just changed it to my Facebook one, because when I'm talking to people, I then ask them to befriend me, or there's a million Paola Hernandezes. So it's easy for me to say, go on my profile, my link to my Facebook is on there, just click on it and add me. So that's been working.
That is perfect. Thank you so much for responding, and for answering that on the spot, right? Any other questions people might have as they're listening to this? Because I know everyone's going to be listening in after the fact, but really what you explained here, I feel is doable for everybody, and it's attainable. And if you don't mind kind of sharing a little bit too of your business history, I guess, getting started as a coach too, because I think that's inspiring for people to hear too. I mean, getting started as a coach, and what kind of training you had. I mean, is this all something that your sponsor told you about? Have you had weekly calls with your sponsor? I mean, what has been kind of your experience building this business? Again, I'm totally putting you on the spot, but you don't mind.
Okay. So I actually didn't have any direct training when I started. My sponsored coach didn't build the business. So I pretty much was dropped into a challenge group, and thank God for Denise from Sprouted Fitness that took me on and has, been the go-to person for me to answer questions for me. She then, dropped me into Nina's group, and that's how I met Nina. I mean, I'm all under their downline, but I wasn't sponsored directly from them. When I started this business, I knew absolutely nothing about coaching. I started because I wanted a discount. And one of my, followers reached out to me and was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to do it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing either, but I'd love for you to do it with me. So I didn't even know how to send a link or anything like that. So to be honest, I Googled it. I looked for the information, and I found a way to send her the link. I didn't even know what it really was, or if I was going to get paid, or was I going to get a discount, an extra discount on my shake. So all of that was completely, I was clueless. I had no idea what I was doing. And then from there on, I was, then that's how Denise came into it, and she I would ask her all the questions about coaching. Nina came into it. She answered a lot of my questions. And I just went to Ethereum. Like I want this to work so much, and I know that anyone can do it because I'm doing this with a full-time job, with 3 kids. I commute. I do it. I'm literally in my bedroom. I do not have an office. So it is so possible for anyone. If you want this to work, you can absolutely make it work anywhere.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Like I think it's something that has stood out to me as I've gotten to know more and more elite coaches, how many of them are like, I mean, if you want to call it orphan coaches or whatever, that they didn't have a direct sponsor who was like saying, okay, join this training group, or, you know, watch this video, do that. That they were instead people who said, I was trained by Google, you know, like I got in, if I had a question, I went to Google and I figured it out. And I'm just really inspired by that, you know? And I think it's something that just can dismantle any excuses people may have of thinking, oh, if I was sponsored by so-and-so or someone else, then I would have X amount of Success Club points, you know, and I would be a Star Diamond coach or whatever. And you're proof that if you want it, you go for it. Mm-hmm. So one last question I'm going to ask you, and then I'll let you go. What is your why? You know, everyone talks about your why. What are you doing this? What is your reason that you're like working so hard when you have a full-time job, you have 3 kids, and you're sitting here in your bedroom doing this webinar late at night after a long day at work, and you make sure that you make this investment in all these people? Why does it matter to you, and what are you wanting to see happen in this business?
I'm going to cry. When I had my son 2.5 years ago, I've always been such like a business career driven person, very independent, don't want to live off of anyone. I want to do it all on my own. And I never thought that I would want to be a stay-at-home mom until he came. And that has completely changed me. Dropping him off at daycare every morning breaks my heart. I know for some, being home and, you know, doing an arts and craft with their son or their kids is, you know, it might not mean that much. To me, it would mean the world to be able to be home with him and spend not 10 hours away from him daily. Sorry. So as much as I love my full-time job and what I do there, because I've been in that industry for 10 years, this has been like just a blessing because I enjoy it so much. And I know that this could be my way to be with my son and live a more, you know, balanced life and just my own life, and be able to not have to worry about finances, because I know there's a lot of people out there that say, well, you could quit your job, but that's not going to give me the life that I want. I still want to be comfortable. I still want to have everything that I have now, but be home with him and my future children. So that is my biggest why, is to be home with my kids but be able to have something of my own. And that's why I stay up late and I wake up early, and I'm just giving it 100. That's just my biggest why.
Thank you. And, you know, I didn't know that. You know, that's something that we didn't go over before we started this call. But just based on the effort that I've seen you give this and hearing your story and knowing that you didn't have a sponsor convincing you to do this and kind of pulling you along, I knew. I'm like, there has to be a deep emotional why for her to be so driven and to care so much about this. Because it's not convenient, you know, it's not like, oh, I just don't have anything to do. But you're making it work. And immediately when I ask you, your first thing is, I'm going to cry, you know, and that's when, you know, like you have someone who's going to do amazing things in this business, because, you know, the cliche, your why should make you cry, is a very real thing. And I think, you know, we all want to help people. We all want to know that we're making a difference in the world for the better, and that we're making a difference and that we're helping people along the way. But that's not going to make you uncomfortable if you're not doing it. And so there's a sense of finding, why am I uncomfortable now? So that you can do the uncomfortable things to create what you really ultimately want. Because it is uncomfortable to put yourself out there and take the sweaty selfies and share your story or whatever. But when you know, if I can do this and if I can stay consistent and show up, there's an opportunity for me to stay home with my kids and create that life I want. That's what makes a difference. So I'm like emotional for you, just like, oh, and I know that you can do it. Like, that's the exciting thing for me, is I've seen it done with hundreds and hundreds of people just on our team, and just in thousands of coaches in the network who I can see are home with their kids. And it's not just a few select top coaches that you hear of on the national wake-up calls. There are so many coaches that you've never even heard of who have significant incomes working at home, staying home with their families, and, being that girl boss. So anyways, thank you so much for getting on this call. And I think if anyone has any more questions, you can post in the team page, and we'll tag you. You'll get off of work and be like, oh my gosh, your phone will be blowing up. And if anyone has questions, maybe you can get to it after work tomorrow. But thank you so much for getting on this call. And I will post the recording in the links, guys. So thank you all.
Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.